Yeah, thank you, sister. My addition just to is that I want to add the aspect of the addressing customers' needs because if I'm having a business, I should target my services or products to addressing the customers' needs, and then I act accordingly.
Thank you. So JB has given us a hint that in everything that you do, there has to be the need, which is the key. How about Francis?
Yes, good morning, class. Good morning, sister.
Good morning.
To me, marketing is basically creating awareness of your product or service and also ensuring processes of trying to retain your customers to a particular product and service. Thank you. I submit.
Okay. So basically what I see, you have talked about identifying the needs, which is a key in the center of the customers. You have talked about the different activities. Activities have to be very clear and specific. And when you're talking about awareness of the products, that's when you are talking about the advertisement, which they are talking about. And when you're talking about the retaining or retention, there you are trying to talk about making sure that there is that loyalty of the customers, which everything you said is what is right. But my question is, before you start marketing, what do you really need to be aware of? What is the most important thing before any activity that you take? Yes, Mirembe.
I think before we start marketing, we should first establish the market itself. Who are the competitors, the prices in the market for that particular product, which places the product can be sold. I think that's my submission. Thank you.
Okay. Judith?
Good morning, sister. Good morning, class. Personally, I think identifying the unfulfilled needs and desires of the customers so that you satisfy their needs and wants would be the first thing you need to do before you market. Thank you.
Ask those kids to go out in the field. They'll come back on the computer when you're done, okay? Thank you. Jenny, please.
Thank you, sister. Good morning, managers. Good morning, sister.
Morning.
So before we market a product or a service, we should first identify whether it is accepted, whether it is legally accepted in that society. I submit.
Whether it is accepted. That is taking us back to research to know whether you have the right product or not. Yes, Paul.
Yes, good morning, sister. To
Morning.
me, I think first and foremost, it should be to identify the tastes and preferences. Then afterwards, we can do marketing efforts tailored to those tastes. I submit.
Excellent. Excellent. I think you have honed it down because you already have the product, I suppose, or you already have the service that you want to get the people, because by the time you go to the marketing level, you have already done some steps. So it's not that you're identifying what they need, what they want, but you are at the point to get it to the market for them to know you have this for them, and you are strategically wanting, you have maybe done your research to understand what are their needs and services. What are they lacking? You know it. So you are strategically coming out to tell them this is what you have been wanting. You have coming out to talk about their tastes and preferences. You're coming out to talk about their wants, if that is the case. But for their wants, you have to be very careful. if they really want just to spend money anyhow for luxury, and it is not a basic that without it, they are going to be able to survive. So they have told us here that in most circumstances, there are a lot of campaigns which are done constantly. And that is very true. You realize that many organizations, many companies put a lot of money into the campaigns of advertising. They use the radio, they use the billboards, they use PR, they use everything. And in all that, what they are trying to do is not just to identify where people need, but they want to see that the people are taking action. They come to accept, yes, this is what they have been wanting. But how they are going to break the news is very, very important. Because you are not, if you break the news focusing on what you are selling without focusing on what they need, it may misfire. You may say, yes, this is a very good apple. You see, it comes from South Africa. It is fresh. And above all, even it is not going to be very expensive. But where do people want to consume the apple? Have you even hit on why did you have to get it from South Africa? What value or what benefit is it that they want from the apple, which is from South Africa, rather than the one which is coming from East Africa? And sometimes that's where the lack of understanding, the selling and the promoting comes from. Because you may be focusing on selling so that you may be able to sell, but you have not got them to understand exactly whether they are benefiting from what you are selling them. You are not marketing, but you are just after selling. Let it go, let it get out of the hand. And when it gets out of the hand, they find that it is not doing any good. They're not going even to come back. They have just come to test and see. And after testing and see, then you lose them. Then others say, no, those people came, they told us it's working. It's not working because it was a mistake by the way you advertised it. Maybe by the language used, maybe by the features that you focused on, maybe by the price. That's why it is very, very important before you get the product out. As you have designed it, you know it very well. And as you get it to the market, the person who is going to get it to the market, does it really understand what the market is expecting out of your product? That's the key. And that's why, what do they need? And what they need in relation to what they want is very different. And what is their experience? You need also to relate to that so that they are able to refer back and be able to feel like, yes, the feeling was good, the liking was good, the taste was good, even the price is good, and the company is really good. And that brings them to retain and to continue building the relationship, as one said, for you to be able to broaden your your market share. But if all that is not done in connection with what you are doing and focusing on, yeah, it's not very expensive. Apples, 500, apples. Well, by the time when I eat the 500 apple or one apple at 500, I realize that it does not taste like an apple. It is like tasting like cotton. And if it is not tasting like apple, my heart starts beating. Is it healthy? What are the consequences? And then I come to question the person who has said they are coming from South Africa. Then I start thinking, are things from South Africa all are like this? You know how we feel about those things which come from China or whatever. You all have the feeling of what you buy and why you buy. So basically, this is where we are going to know. What we need to know, how to do it, and the concepts in line with what is applicable when we are trying to talk to our customers. When we are trying to create awareness, what kind of information, what kind of words we use, what kind of strategies we are employing, and what feel does it give to the consumers or the customers whom we are targeting is very, very important for us to think as they think and be able to establish the relationship that is important. So in other words, when you're talking about marketing, you're talking about all the steps that will lead to the final sale. You have to plan it accordingly. You're not just going to plan marketing without planning the packaging. You're not going to plan the packaging without planning the pricing. You're not going to plan the pricing without planning the placement. Because if the one who is placing it into the market does not even understand why you packaged it into the way to give it a look and a feel, we just talk about the product inside, not knowing people admiring the packaging and very interested into the words which you have put on the packaging. So that's why it's very, very important as we work on improving our business ventures. We look at being successful as entrepreneurs. We assess and analyze why do they have to continuously be marketing the same thing. I always tell people that you all know osmosis. That thing has gone over now for the last 2 months. There should be a reason why it has been. Usually commercials don't go all that long. In 1 week, in 3 days, they are over. But it is on for almost 2 months now. And they could be making money by putting it on air, but also the message might be selling. So what we are trying to say, when you are trying to get into the business, you need to start from the production, the manufacturing. What you are manufacturing, those people who are going to sell it, do they really understand the concept of what you are doing in relation to the pricing that they are going to settle? And even those who are going to apply it, do they understand the concept in relation to how the consumers are going to feel when they hear about that price? Do you really know how it will be placed out when we are talking about the preposition and the positioning and the branding? How will they make the people feel, yes, finally it has come? I'm sure there are those products which you see people struggling to push out to make people just buy. But when they buy, they don't feel like they can buy them again. And even services. And somebody is selling a service, and you are wondering, why do they have to cry for people to buy those services? If the people know that they have to be insured and be safe, why do you have to call my phone every week, every month to buy your insurance? Yet I know I need my what? My protection. Why do you have to call me to buy an equipment when I know it is working, and by using it, it will simplify my life? Why do you always have to remind me of those kind of features? So all that goes into the integration of what you do, how you do it, and who does it, and why you are doing it. And that way, the activities, you know, they are not just going to be the traditional way of marketing. It's not going to be the business as ever. No. You're just going to try to see how best can I be in that relationship, because it is the most important thing. You know, you people, when you are in those young one, when they are starting the dating, what goes on? It's always you're trying to say, how can I persuade and influence? Will you marry me? It is that kind of thing. And even after saying yes, that relationship does not end. You are always trying to feel like you have just fallen into that love. You have been selling the same product, you have been dealing with the same people, you have been dealing with the same market, or you realize that even there is competition, but you always want to make it is the first date that you have ever had in your relationship. So when we are talking about marketing, it is not that marketing of yesterday. It is a marketing which changes, and it is a marketing, as you heard, so many activities are done, but it has to be that relationship. That relationship, which is going to come out to make sure that as you move further, you are strengthening your what? Your love with the customers. They are not just buying, and you are not just promoting or increasing awareness. They are wanting always to buy. They are always feeling fresh. And that's why they say many people think of marketing only as selling and advertising. But that is just a tip. It is a tip. It is a way of telling and selling, but it is a new sense of satisfying customers' needs. How do you make them satisfied? You always have to think of what are their needs? What do they really need? And then you simplify it by saying it in the way how they want to make sure that they get the satisfaction before even they taste, and make them feel wanting to buy and take action. How many people have gone, and as you go to listen or to hear about the campaign, you come out without even buying anything? Have you ever been to the market and you realize that even if they bring out the sale, they talk so well, but many people come out as they went without even feeling like, oh, well, they have talked about this this product, I think I'll be able to buy. Have you ever experienced that? And you feel like nothing, you are not even impressed. Have you ever experienced that? Or you have not?
Yes, we have ever.
You have ever?
Yes.
And what makes you come back dry?
Because I've not been convinced by the presenter.
You have not been, and yet you wanted to buy.
Yes.
True. You are not convinced. So
okay,
when
I was not, okay, the marketer has not like talked a lot or enough about the product to the extent that I feel like I'm convinced I need this product, and it will be of value to me.
Okay. And does it mean that talking a lot is the conviction?
No, not talking a lot, but hitting the points, like bringing out the value of the product, how good it is.
How would you, now, what is your business about? I'm sorry to hang on you. I just want to make sure that we get the point clear. How is it, what is your business about?
Okay, mine is, okay, apparently is a guest house.
And what is the aim of doing that guest house?
The aim is to, okay, my main aim is like to bring to, okay, to derive the customer satisfaction out of this product, like bringing the value, make the product more, okay, appear more better than the other competitors, the quality, as in bringing out the quality of this product that I'm trying to sell out, making it making it more quality, okay, produce more quality as compared to my competitors. I'm just looking at the qualities.
You know, people talk of quality, and everybody quality, but that's, how do you measure quality? So I don't want to make it harder for you, but I want members to look at this. People will talk quality. As she talks about, she's talking about the guest house and saying it will provide you the best services and the best services that you want. So by talking about the best services that the person wants, and I have come looking for accommodation, and you're telling me that you provide the best services, I want you to put yourself in my feet. How does that feel? If you have been looking around and someone just, yeah, we have good services here. We have good services here. You know, those people you find at the reception, they're very good at posing with good service. What does that tell you? If you have been yearning and looking for that. So I want you to talk about the value proposition in relation to what you are selling, such that in a 2-3 seconds, I'm able to say, okay, can you please reserve me the loan?
Okay, doctor, for me, what I'm looking at, okay, these are the key areas. First of all, I did my survey, okay, my research. And this was done through the, okay, like the need assessment. During the field work and so on, I moved around and actually I encountered this challenge. As for me, I mean, personally, I went through this experience whereby we moved to the field and then time for looking for accommodation, you moved and you don't find really where you feel like, okay, I think this place, I'm okay with it, I'm comfortable with it in terms of accommodation. Let me say the facilities around, like maybe the quality of the facilities, and then it comes to hygiene, and then the services like the customer care that you would derive from the facility. You just find like it is really substandard. The customer care is low. The facilities, I mean, the quality of let me say the beddings and so on, they are of low quality. And then to make it worse, the hygiene of the place, it's very low. Like you don't feel
I understand where you're coming from and where you're going. Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
I'm sure other managers too also have got your point. Okay. And from that perspective, I would like ask someone from the class to help me understand what is a value proposition of AWUMA's business in relation to marketing. So can I ask anybody from the class to help me? What is a value proposition in relation to what she's selling when it comes to the guest house? Make it into a marketing perspective. This is a BC guest house which offers and you'll benefit by doing this and this. Can I hear from the class? We want to move away from the traditional way of advertising to the current way of how we should look at marketing and value preposition, that we don't have to keep talking so many things, but in a second, you get the people hooked up and willing to pay for the service or the product that you're offering. And if AWUMA's business is a little bit tricky, I ask you to use your own to give me an example of how you understand marketing from the traditional way to the current way when we're looking at focusing on customer needs, and make that kind of hint. How would you sell your business? And if that is tricky, I move on. And I wait until your pitch comes out, okay? Yes, Victor. Howard. Unmute, please.
Doctor, you can hear me?
I hear you very well.
Sister, you can hear me?
Yes, you're okay. Go
Okay, I
ahead.
wanted to try and give a value proposition for the guest house.
Go
I
ahead,
think in
please.
terms of marketing, I would go for really emphasizing a cozy and welcoming atmosphere, personalized service. Probably I'll look at also bringing in an aspect of a feel of home cooked meals, comfort and clean kind of rooms, a sense of community with the guests. And then maybe I'll bring in a relaxation and peaceful environment to cap it.
Thank you. I think you got it. Basically, you have just hinted the benefits. Because if I'm like, okay, what are you offering here? People usually tell you we have a single rooms, we have a single but with 2 beds, then we have, yeah, you can come and see the rooms. And you see the rooms and you are left wanting, but you have done it very, very clearly. Very clearly. It's like, what moves me away from home to come and stay here with my girlfriend for a weekend? Relaxation, eat well, you can cook it for yourself. It is spacious, it's clean, it's quiet, it's cozy. That kind of language, which is really, to the time, people, those kind of words they hear. That's what you need to focus on. But when you go on telling stories, stories are good, but by the time you have told us a story, the person is out of your sight. And that is a value preposition. I wish Victor could tell us what he's doing. And I give you a tick because I know when it comes to promotion, you will put it very clearly. That's what I expect when you are talking about the product, when you are talking about the promotion. Those 2 areas are integrated. And when you are talking about the price and people ask, why do you have to set it so high? You don't even say because competitors' price, because it is a premium. Who cares about premium and competitors? You are just telling me what is the value to me that I'm buying. It's not I'm buying competitor. It's not I'm not buying what? Premium. No, I'm buying luxury. I'm buying because I'm buying spacious. I'm buying Wi-Fi. I'm buying what? Those are the kind. And now Wi-Fi is everywhere. You don't even need to talk about it because if you talk about it, even I'll come to the TV when it stopped 20 years ago because you only put it on when what? When the visitors are there. And by the time I came at 9, all the technicians are gone. And it will be, if I'm kind, I'm very kind, I leave notes behind when I leave the hotels. And I say, please, don't abuse the people. If you know you have everything, make sure it is working and check it before you get in. Hot water, you open in 30 minutes, the hot water has not even come to the sink. So, Victor, tell us about your marketing. Oh, Letitia. Okay, Letitia, go ahead. Victor, you come later. Let's have Letitia.
Good afternoon. Is it good? Okay, good morning, sister. Good morning, class.
That's fine.
Sister, I kindly wanted you to give me, I wanted to give in what I'm doing.
Go ahead.
If you permit me. I'm working on, I need your guidance. I'm working on a school, but a technical school for primary. And my competitive strategy is to do mobile technical education. That is, I have clinics in different schools or different areas, like the LC stations, local council stations. And I don't want it to be a station school like all the time. So I'm taking the technical services near to the people, wherever they are, depending on the way I'm going to organize using the local council areas. So in that event, I'm looking at marketing myself to say I'm extending the technical education to the people where they are. So I need your feedback. I'm trying to leverage on.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm leveraging on the change in the curriculum of the primary education and secondary as well, where the Ministry of Education is introducing those technical classes from primary.
Okay.
So I'm not looking at the curriculum.
Well, I got you right. I got you well. And I asked the class also who helped me because two heads are better than one. This is Areticia. She has given us her business description. And her approach is extending the services to the beneficiaries, bringing services closer. I think rather than extending, I would use bring services closer to you. That makes it more friendly, okay? Yes. I will bring services closer to you by doing the ABCD. But before even you go to the marketing aspects, my concern would be who are those people you are targeting? Because when you are looking, you may not answer, but you have to put that into perspective because you are trying to break the competition where we have and even the nature of the services, because we are talking about the technical schools. So I don't know whether you are bringing computers, you are bringing mechanics, you are bringing what. So keep those in mind because those are the questions which come out, such that knowing clearly who is your target customer. And when you are going to do a mobile kind of a business, technically, also it is very tricky. It is also important for you to know what is your locality. Are you just going to be moving from, you know, these, how do they call them? These mobile markets, where every weekend they find a place where they go on trailers, and then they land, and then they open, and then they park, and another month they go to another, because all they are doing, they are competing with the stationary markets. They are selling clothes, they are selling shoes, they are selling everything, but for them, they are mobile, and their area is those kind of things. So now I think here it is also very important. You talked about the secondary curriculum. So we don't know clearly what your focus is, whether you are providing full curriculum or you are picking out specialization from the curriculum. And are you targeting schools which don't have the technical capacity or the equipment? So that area, the description, I want you to make sure that you need to buff it a little bit. Then when you come to the marketing, that's when you will be very, very clear, because you will know how to exactly describe your product, the features of your product. Because if it is a mobile technical school, it has to come out very clearly. What is the nature of the technical school? And what services are you providing in line with the mobile technical school? And to be clear, who needs those services, to make sure that you are talking to their needs, okay? Because right now it may be very hard for us to talk about the needs in relation to the features of the services you're providing, because your market is not very, very clear. When you come up with a new brand, you come up with a new approach of the learning, but the concept itself still needs some buffing. It's not very, very clear, okay? I think others can help you, but that is the feedback I can give you right now. I don't know whether it helps, but that is what all right? So make sure that the idea may be true, may good, but is it viable? Is it feasible? You may have done the research, but how are you going to press it? Placement is when you implement, how is it going to be fully implemented to make sure that it meets the goal and the needs of the people that you intended to serve. So that's where others can come in, and then we see how best to help you. Yes, Mans.
Okay, thank you.
One, I have questions. Who champions this cause? Is it supposed to be the government, or it is supposed to be from the populace that you will be serving, or the people that you will be teaching? Because personally, I feel if it's going to be the government, maybe you can be able to pull it off. Because if it's going to be from the, if you think you're going to be able to mobilize funding from the people that you'll be teaching, I think that's going to be a little bit hard because of the low incomes of the people that you'll be teaching. Here is why. Setting up a teaching bench alone and having a teaching bench alone for technical things like mechanics, electrical, civil, or maybe we have mechanics, electrical, civil, and which other type, okay, maybe power. Setting up those benches is quite expensive and time consuming. You can say like putting up a bench can take like maybe a day or two. And that will require expertise of people who do that. And I feel that's quite expensive. Unlike for the stationed classes, whereby you only do it once and you're done. But for the mobile part, I think that's a little bit expensive. That's my thinking, because as a person who used to do communications installations, I know what it means. Because it would take you like maybe a day or 2 or 3 or 4. And the people who do that are not exactly cheap resources that you can just find anywhere. They are specific. That is my submission. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. I think that helps
So
you.
can I
You wanted to respond to the questions?
Yes.
I don't think you can use this time to respond, because what we are providing you is input, and this feedback is helping you for further implications in relation to your idea. And as he has given you that feedback, the same thing, is it viable? That's the first thing you do to make sure that you don't just think of any idea, but you have to test it out in different capacities to make sure that when you are writing, you are not just writing ideas, but you have tested it and you'll be able to realize it, okay? That's what you may need to do after here.
Thank you.
All right, so members, as we continue, you are very free to continue integrating your business ideas into what we discussed, because that's how you're going to be helped to make sure that whatever step we complete, you are better in a position to develop that effectively. So when you are trying to come at the marketing process, there are steps that you have to follow. There are procedures that will help you to guide you. But the first and foremost important thing, you need to understand the marketplace and the customer needs and wants. That is very, very key. And that does not just come from the moon. You have to do the research. And when we talk about the marketplace, that's when we talk about the environment, the business environment, because it has so many factors which are there. You have to think of the competitors, you have to think of the financial aspect, you have to think of other products which are there, you have to think about the demand and supply, you have to think of the government rules, because some things you may not have the control, and the society as well, because there are other factors where you may realize that the product or the service you provide may not be welcomed or acceptable in the manner that you present it when it comes to the feelings, the beliefs, or the values of the people that you are targeting. So it is very, very important that your research, you have done it very, very clearly, and you are able to understand their needs and wants. And when we talk about needs and wants, make sure you know the different. because needs, it's something that you cannot do without. You basically need food to live. You need shelter, you need water, you need security. But if you can live without sweets, or you can live without lotion, you have water to bathe and do whatever, then some things may not necessarily be a need. Any water can do when it comes to cooking, so long as it is what? It is clean water. And any water can do so long as you want to drink rather than bottled water. So you have to make sure that in this first step, you have clearly understood your target market. You know your people well. And by knowing your people well, what do we have to think of? Do you know what is, when it comes to the, let's say, demographics? That is very, very important. What is their age? What are their class? What is their income? What is their religion? How about their status? How about education? Those are common things that you cannot undermine. Because sometimes you may think everybody will buy, after all, it is not expensive. And you may not necessarily know some people care where they put their money. You may feel that everybody will like to dress like this, not knowing that some people care about different colors, different designs, different look. It's like when I put on this wig, it doesn't make me look young. When I put my style like this, it doesn't make me feel comfortable. So all these things are very, very important. So don't just understand men and women. Marketing is not just gender. It goes beyond gender. And that's when you are in the marketplace, make sure you know all the factors for you to define, will this sell? And when you are defining, what are you going to say about it? What is it going to say? Even if you don't have to say, can your service or product be self-explanatory? By looking at it, by smelling it, by touching it, I'm able to feel, yes, I can take it. That's where the understanding comes in. You have to research, you have to observe, you have to get feedback, you have to question, you have to listen, you have to talk. And if you're not doing that, my friend, you may be wasting time. And the time you waste is money. Then number 2, design a customer-driven marketing strategy. What do we mean by number 2? Design a customer-driven marketing strategy. How would you apply that? I'm sure you have done marketing with Mr. Byamugisha or any other person, and different types of marketing. For me, I'm just capturing what you have done to put it into perspective, to add value to what you're going to produce. So how can you do a customer-driven marketing strategy? When we are looking at, all of you now are familiar with osmosis, what is their strategy? Who is their customer in that line? Hello, can you talk? If you don't give me any other commercial you have seen, these days I'm cut off from the television. I don't know what new items are there. Can you tell me, how does a customer-driven marketing strategy look like? Those who are in the medical field, how would you talk about a customer-driven marketing strategy? Those who are in schools, can you tell us how it looks? Those are in banks. You are all in different places, I know. And you are all managers. That's why you call yourself managers. I hope you are not just aspiring to be managers. But even if you're aspiring, there is a reason why you are aspiring. You have a model. Members, does that make sense, number 2?
Yeah,
How would
sister,
you-
hello.
Yes, JB.
Yes, I was adding on the issue of the marketing strategy that you try to be it should be designed in terms of the customer experiences and preferences. Like in banks, what they do, they have made their services, some of them available on the phones, because now people use phones, and therefore you can transfer money, you can deposit, you can so many things are now trying to be done through the customers' day-to-day innovations. When almost in Uganda, very many people are using phones, and therefore even the language they use, you hear about Sente Mobile, you hear about so many languages are designed, you try to be in the space of the customer to get further message of marketing.
Thank you very much. You have put it right when we are talking about their needs, wants, and experience. Everything is now digital experience. People don't have any more time to sit down, and those who may sit down, maybe they are waiting for the doctor. But if the doctor can even reach you on the phone and do the prescription, then that's where the hospitals have to go. That I can talk to you and I feel that you have attended to me. So JB has given us an example of the banking sector, whereby every service, if I can do it just with my button on my phone, there is no need of wasting time and money coming to the bank and being attended to. And that is the strategy which they are taking, the digital economy, to make sure that how do they maximize the digital, the technology, to make sure that they are making money to achieve their goals through the customer-driven services. He has put it right, and you have seen it where it is going. So it's like asking, what do you need to do to make sure you reach there? So for others, if you keep quiet, keep quiet. But don't be surprised when whatever you say, because we will say, how will it apply when it comes to technology? And you're just saying people will come to the farm. People are no longer coming to the farm. People want services to reach them there. So if you are doing your strategy, for those who cannot even walk, those who are elderly, you are coming up with the elderly house. Make sure that the way your strategy is coming up is making their services feel like even when you are there, we can attend to you, we can send you the nurse, we can provide the prescription, and the medication can be delivered in the shortest time you want, and you will be cared for because we have all the services available at our center. That makes the person feel like I'm with the right supplier. Number 3, constructing marketing plan that delivers superior value. Superior value. That is another process. You know what superior value? Don't just talk about quality. Because everybody talking quality. Talk of quality in the eyes of the consumer. What do I see by value? And when you're talking about value, talk about the benefits. When you eat this, you'll feel light. You'll get more energy and you'll stay strong. And even your brain will think faster. Just taste. You'll only take it once a month and it will groom you, look young. I'm sure you know whom I'm targeting and what I'm selling. Very small, very light, but the functions or the benefits are high and superior. So instead of, I better even not say it. All right. So what they're telling us here, if you want to deliver or to convince the consumer, say it in the way they want to hear it. Make them feel like they are swallowing that sweet. Make them feel like they are dreaming and they are having it. Make them like they are really at that stage. Number 4, build customer relationship. Customer relationship is not just about selling them goods, but making sure that even when you give them the goods are able to satisfy their needs. And when they are satisfied, they will be able to come back and even to promote and sell your goods. That's where you're going to realize that some companies or some products are not even being promoted or advertised. They're self-advertised. People look for them without even the company knowing that they are out of stock. And by doing so, you are not just going to look at the product itself, you need to understand what are the problems of the customers, what are their needs, what are their challenges, so that you are able to build their relationship by solving it. And even when you build that, make sure that you follow them up. That is the marketing strategy. Others give after services, others call to check, others even choke on them to feel if they want more or they have other preferences. It's not very common in Uganda, but in developed countries, you will find this very, very common. They can even send things in your mail without you see them on the email. Where you have been for 10, 30 years, people are still remembering you. They even say, now I think it is the banks which have the custom of saying happy birthday. And then I say, oh, it's my birthday. When even the neighbor does not know that it is your birthday. That's the relationship. And MTN would say, now we have given you 5,000 for your birthday. And you say, oh, this is a very good company. Now I have something for SMS. Would you ever even think of leaving MTN? I wish they could give us more. So this is the relationship. Give them a bonus. Send them a thank you card. Call them to wish them well. Send them greetings. Build that relationship so that they are always surprised when they would not even be thinking about your product. That is marketing. They talk of the guerrilla marketing skills. It's always tricky. It does different kind of things to entice you. Then capture value from customers to create profit. Then I said, how do I capture the value? How do you know that you have captured value from customers? This class is not so hard. People seem to be thinking so hard. Father.
Yes, sister. Thank you. I think some of the indicators for capturing value from the customers could include customer loyalty and when the customers are able to make referrals for my business, so that helps me to increase my customer base or the market niche or segment. Because once the customers make referrals about me, then my revenue will increase, and that will lead to some profits to my business.
Yes.
So it's all about, it starts from customer relationships, and then it goes to customer loyalty, and also goes as far as the referrals about the business from the customers. Thank you.
Very clear. They refer, they will be loyal, and then the profits will come in the long run. So, you need to create a marketing plan for your business. And the marketing plan details the strategy that the company will use to make its product to the customers. The plan identifies the target market and the value proposition of the brand, and the product and the campaigns to be initiated, and the metrics to be used to assess the effectiveness of marketing initiatives. This is a big section, big section. That's the section where you are expected to come up with a sales pitch. I was trying to say, upload the samples of your peers, but I realized that they are so big to upload directly. I need to use another software, but as soon as I succeed, I'll put them there because I already created an option for the samples at the Moodle. I'll put them there so that you can see what other students have done in relation to this. I only post the good ones so that you can be able to emulate them. So this is it. This section is really big. It is not just about talking. The channels, students say, I use social media. And I'm like, okay, social media does not tell me much. Why do you have to use social media? It's very important that you elaborate. And what type of social media are you going to use? And how does it value your business in relation to the metrics? That is the key. How will you measure that you are achieving your goal based on the initiatives that you have taken? It's important to identify your target market. And the target market, don't just say, the people in a Kawempe division. Kawempe division has so many people. In the central region, I understand there are men, there are women, there are children, there are schools, there are elders. Go further to elaborate and help me understand. Why do you think those are the very best people that are going to buy your product? To justify, because you have identified the gap, what is the justification that your product is so significant in relation to the value proposition? I'm not going to explain that further. It was JB, I think JB, who clearly elaborated. When you're talking about the value proposition, you are clearly telling us about your brand, your product, and your benefits. What are we benefiting from your goods? The campaigns, don't just say television, radios. Please tell us, why do you think, if you're a beginner, why do you go for television and a campaign as compared to others? How is it going to measure and how will it benefit? That is very, very important. And that's why you plan to ensure that you don't put so much money in the marketing, and after marketing, you don't even have the money to finance and even to pay for the first month when you need to pay your workers. They do so much. You know, these people who do so much are big budgets. They're going for the introduction, and the budget is like millions and millions. And after that, they come back even where they sleep, the house is rental. Yes, you have made impression, but is that really workable? Is it practical? Do something you are able to accommodate. And that's why there is a matrix. You have to make sure that what is the measurement in regards to what you are going to do when it comes to the goals and the objectives that you have set, so that you are not just creating things for the matter of creating. When you are looking at marketing, there are some areas, the concepts are these ones. Clearly, you have to understand the needs and wants in the marketplace. I've already talked about it. You need to understand the market offerings and in relation to the service, the products, and the experience. This is in line to you looking at your customers. Because you can bring, when it comes to the experience, you can bring something when they don't know even how to use it, and you're just imposing it to the market because you have some innovation, but you don't even know, they don't have the capacity of how to utilize that. Much as it will penetrate, but it will not be sustainable. So, have you educated them about it? Have you sensitized them? Are you prepared to make sure that once you have broken the ground, you'll be able to make it through? Value and satisfaction, that is very key. Much as you are talking about the value, the benefits and the features and everything, make sure that it is going, when you talk about the satisfaction, it is going to solve the problem, it is going to increase their benefit, it is going to resolve the problem, it's going to add their lives to become better, it is going to make them richer, it's going to make them improved. So you are talking about the value, which is the benefits of the product, and as well, you are relating to the needs of the consumers. Exchanges and relationship, that is key in relation to what they are giving you and what they are getting, to make sure that it is sustainable. Markets, that's key when you are talking about other players, competitors, consumers, producers, suppliers, distributors, you name it. If you have questions, please ask. This is just the beginning of the marketing, for things that we need to know, for things that we have to do. We have already talked about competitive advantage in the previous, when we were discussing the industry analysis. It comes back here. When you are looking at the value position, give an example of someone who is doing raising cow, raising goat. Who is that person raising? I think he's raising goat. Don't just say matter of raising goat for meat. Make sure that the benefits or the values you're providing are going to bring satisfaction to the needs of the consumers. And in your raising of the goats or whatever, what differentiates your goats from any other who is selling goats? What is differentiating your guest house from any other who is hosting travelers? What is differentiating your school from any other who is providing education and training? What is differentiating your services from any other who is helping people who are in need? Why should I buy your good or your service rather than the competitor? That is the first question you need to ask when you're working on your marketing plan. Why should I go for soda and not Coke? They are all to quench my thirst, but are they healthy? Why do I go from Renzol water and not hot pot, is it pot water? And they are all at the same price. So as we are looking at working at the marketing plan, make sure you understand who is your consumer, who is your target, who is your target, and what is your brand. Who is Apophia? Apophia, what is your business in? SCP.
Yes, sister.
What is your business about?
The one that I own, or the one that I am doing a business plan about?
I even don't know that you own a business.
Okay, my business that I'm going to be doing the business plan about is real estate.
Mm-hmm. And you're talking about real estate. What differentiates it from any other real estates we have?
It's more to it's what differentiates this is the friendliness in its cost, trying to make it as affordable as possible, even for the low income earner. So we are trying to do the kind of housing that is affordable, even to the middle class or the low income earner.
When you talk about the low middle income earner, can you get further? Because for me, I could say the low middle income earner, it could be somebody who is even having 10,000 a month. Will that person fit in?
Yes, they could be able to be catered for.
So what I mean here, when we are talking middle low, give it a price and why you think that person could be able to fit in. So that you are talking to the real ordinary man language. You get what I mean? Because your definition of the low income earner may not be my definition. That is when we're doing business.
You can look at the motorcycle. Yeah?
You get it?
Yes, sister.
Yeah, it's very, those definitions. That's why I tell people, don't just say it's going to be a competitive price. It's going to be a fair price. Bring it further so that we can measure it up. How do we measure? Then that helps the ordinary man's language to relate and to know, yes, he's talking to me. This is where I need to be, okay? But these are the generic, and sometimes that's where we misfire. And when you talk, you may feel like, yes, has talked so well, but in the real sense, it has not communicated as an advert. So that's where, when we ask these things, I just want to make sure that people have what it means when we are assessing those kind of documents that you submit, but not just to test you out. Can we hear from Bernard? Bernard, what are you doing? Bernard Aluma.
Thank you, sister. I'm intending to do a piggery project.
What is a piggery about?
Rearing pigs.
For who?
For sale. As a project, yes.
So you are selling this full pig, yeah?
Yes.
Are you sure you don't have enough on that on the market?
They are there, but many people who are looking for these pigs, they almost move the whole village. They get 1 or 2, 3. But if I rear many, I have an advantage that at least I have many. When they come to buy, I can sell them.
So what is going to differentiate your business from any other?
I'm intending to rear local breeds. The local breeds, the piglets are cheaper than these exotic ones. The piglets are cheaper, and in terms of pork, they are not fatted like these ones. And these days, people no longer want out of fat.
How will you position it when you are marketing? How would you position it to the market?
First of all, I have to show that it is tasty. The local breeds are more tasty in terms, that is the pork. Carrying no much fats. And these local breeds, they are more mature than these exotic ones if you are to sell them. Because when you look at these exotic ones, they begin selling them at 6 to 8 months. At least these ones, when they are about 8 to per year, they are more mature than these other exotic ones.
Thank you. So basically, if I'm to sell your pigs and to make them not look like the pigs, I don't know whether the name of the company is Pigs Project or whatever, but I think your focus could be on organic, health, tasty. That brings the brand out. They are not these ones which are big pig. I think that's what you're saying, okay? And if they are not the big pig, it is organic. It is just fed naturally and it remains natural. And that means it's more healthy when it comes to somebody who needs the protein in that way. And even the taste is better as compared to, which means it's going to make you what you want. So I want you to bring that out when you are talking about the features of the products, the product that you are selling, and you need to bring that out clearly when you are defining your competitive advantage. And even when it comes to the value preposition in relation to the promotion, that has to come out clearly. Even for the pricing, you see it comes from top down, everything integrated. Why do you sell it at this price? You bring out the value. Why do you have to make sure that people buy? You bring out the differentiation. You don't have to say so much because people know pigs are pigs. But what is it that we are looking for? We are looking for organic aspect of it. We are looking for the health aspect of it and for the taste. And that way you have your opioid. So that way you go, all right? So I was trying to make this clear for people to know how are you going to preposition or to position your product in the market, because that is what we call branding. How are they going to perceive you? You focus on the benefits, you focus on the features, you focus on the differentiation. And the question is, you know your competitor. What differentiates you from the competitor is what you always focus on. I'm a woman, but I'm very confident. I'm very clear in what I say, and I'm very loud. Because they know women are very soft-spoken. Women are shy. So if you are looking for someone who is not shy, you know who she is. If you know somebody who is, you know who she is. If you know somebody who is loud, you know who she is. Then they are looking for that one to be the main what? A master of ceremony. Because every day, many, as if women they cannot play that role. Women better venture into that so that we get also to balance up. Can't you make that money? Everywhere, they are the men who are speaking. Where are the ladies? Brand yourself. All right, let's move further. I've been trying to bring out the value preposition in relation to what you do. If you need me to help you know where you are, tell me. I'm doing this and this is how I see it could be. Then I'll say, this one is lucky. Because what we are looking in your business is not everything. There are those small things we look to make sure that you are clearly not just making a product to dump it there, but you'll be able to sell it because you know how to talk about it. I hope I'm clear. Thank you. Appreciate that. Prepare a marketing plan. And I have listened. Am I going backward? No. This one is talking about the customer, the service, and it will create value for those customers. But this one talking about the marketing mix. The marketing mix. What is involved in the marketing mix? Yeah. What do we mean by this marketing mix?
The 4 P's.
And those are products, price, place, and promotion. Do they have to be mixed? What do they have to do when we talk about marketing mix? What is their integration? How do they relate? Hello. When you're talking about the product, what is the focus? Everybody knows those 4 P's. Now they have gone to 7 P's. I think even there could be 8. If you go there, you'll find the 7 P's, you'll find the 5 P's, but traditionally, this is what is commonly known, the 4 P's. But you can't do the 4 P's without people. There has to be people out there. And even when you do the 4 P's, you can't forget the process. Even the process has to come in so that you know the physical. Even the physical come in, the physical features, when you know how they are being designed and everything. So when we talk about the marketing mix, what do we mean? You know these things. Haven't you done marketing?
You know.
Tell me.
Not there.
Just tell me. What do you mean by marketing?
A marketing mix. Includes the P's.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, yes, sister.
Yes, please.
Yeah, when you look at the marketing mix, especially the 4 P's, these are the things we should play around with to be able to capture the attention of the customers. Yeah, for instance, when you look at the product, you are looking at the features of the product, the quality, what is able to do. So these different aspects can be combined in order to capture the attention of the customers. The price is key. When you study your target group, perhaps you need to set a price that you know will help to attract the biggest chunk of your customers to buy the product.
Thank you. Thank you. Did I close you? Am I the one who muted you?
No, it is I'm saying it is a combination of these that can help you to reach your ultimate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, Francis.
Yes, good afternoon, sister.
Good afternoon.
So,
we lost you.
The control marketing tool. The control marketing tools that the farm blends to produce in response to the root, the product. You have to put emphasis on what you're going to produce. Does it really fit the target market? Is it the concern of the target market? Is it the desire of the target market? Then the price. In most cases, some organizations produce without considering the price, and you end up misfiring. The product can be good, the product can be fine, the product can be desirable, but then the price takes it out. Then the promotion and place. In most cases, those are the 4 P's that we talk about, sister. However, we have some other P's that we consider. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis and Tom. I think both of you said it right. In everything that we do, from the beginning of the thinking of the product, to the placement of the product, to the positioning of the product and the pricing of the product, we have to be thinking in the same line. Because if there is no alignment in what we do, that's what Francis called we misfire. Because the product can be can take a lot of cost when you are producing it, But when it comes to the pricing, it may not measure up. And you may do everything right, but when it comes to the promotion, you have had those things which they put on the market and they talk everything, but the market is not convinced and it is not measuring up to even move them to buy. And even you can realize that you have done everything, but how to get that product to the hands of the consumer. When we talk about the placement and the distribution, it is not accessible. Or it is even another hurdle that you have to go through. Or even it is not convenient. So what they are telling you here, make sure that when you are designing, when you are thinking of the product, you're thinking of the price, you're thinking of the place, everything should be aligned. There has to be the check and balance to make sure that you have everything aligned into what you are doing, to make sure that you are not bouncing yourself when it comes to the market. And that's why they know of which measure are you going to make to use to ensure everything you put in is measuring up to the outcome is very, very key. Because sometimes people say, we are going to put the estate here, and then you realize that after putting the estate, the UNRA comes and says no development should be done in this place. This is a place for this. Or you realize these houses are going to be sold this and this, and after buying so much for the land and putting up the estates, the demand is nowhere to be found, and you are stuck with your property. Or even after doing everything, you realize that now the market is so hijacked, you cannot even find a space to attract or even to find the people who can buy your goods whenever promotion you are making. So that's why there has to be a very clear understanding of the market and how you're going to mix those 4 or 5 or 8 elements to ensure you are able to sell your goods and services. Okay, thank you very much. So that's what we are talking about. As I was explaining, how much to charge is very key. How to make the offer available is very, very important. And how to persuade or offer the goods is also another element to make sure that you are doing it right. Then when it comes to the relationship, I have already talked about that. That in everything that we do, this is another concept which has come up, which traditionally was not so much a factor, but today, building customer relationship is the most important aspect when we talk about modern marketing. You need to make sure that you are not just trying to tell them about what you are selling, but you need to know your customers. You need to know where they are. You need to know what they are buying. You need to know how much they are willing to spend. And you need to know whether they are satisfied. And you're not just going to know that, but need to make sure that you are keeping records. You need to have data to make sure that that data is helping you to make the right what? The right decision. To grow your customer, to keep your customer, or even to acquire new customers. You need to make sure that you have a proper record management. How would you use your business to capture value from customers? We said one area, you have to make sure that you attract them and you make them satisfied. And doing so, they will be loyal to you. They'll be able to buy. And as they buy, you're not just making sales, but you're growing your market share. You are increasing your profits. And when they are highly satisfied, they become loyal and even they'll buy more. And by doing so, that's how you're capturing value from your customers. But what does that mean? It means as you are doing your selling and everything, you're keeping your records, make sure that you really know what are they buying. Are they buying because it is good, or are they buying because it is healing them? it is making them healthy, it is not taking a lot of their money. What are they buying? And why are they buying? Most of the time you realize that we don't take time to analyze businesses. We're just stock in, stock out, stock in, stock out. You see traders coming, but what are they buying is key. Are they buying because it is good, it is variable, it is durable, it is cheap, it is what? So putting it all together, what is marketing? Marketing is based on these 5 concepts: the production, the product, the selling, the marketing, and the societal marketing. Can I buy that goat? Those concepts is what build the, I repeated that. Oh, no, the first one is production. The production, that's where it starts. So whether your production is pigs, make sure that the quality. It's not that when you realize that they are not fattening, again you change so that they can fatten and then you sell faster. If you realize that it is education and you realize that the numbers are not increasing, then you are going to change and move away from the model and come. Change if it was integrated in the planning so that you know by exiting, by growth, this is what you will do. But if that is not what you plan to do, it's going to do what? To destroy when it comes to the advancement. Because you may come trying to do this, yet you are not fulfilling any need. Then when it's product, we have been talking about that, the value, the benefits are very, very key, much as you are trying to make sure that you sell. But first, make clear, the products that you are producing, it is in line with the needs, the wants, and the experience of the consumer. The experience is something which is not talked of much, but it is a usability. What is it? Because there's one thing of start introducing a function, but when nobody can be able to apply it, and that is a wastage of resources. So in that kind of the product concept, think of the needs, the wants, and the experience of the consumer or the customer. Then when it comes to the selling, make sure that your selling aspect, when it comes to the preposition, when it comes to the promotion, is very, very clear. You know your customer very clearly. You understand their needs very, very well. You know your product very, very well. And you know your pricing and you have set it very, very clear. Then you'll be able to sell your product. But sometimes you realize that people are producing very good products, but the sales manager don't know even what to sell. And then you ask, why didn't it sell? And the others, the way they sell it, it does not convince. When it comes to the marketing, it is that what laps it up. When you talk about the 4 Ps, the 5 Ps, the 7 Ps, as you do your research, it all comes in there to make sure that you grow, and then you grow it up. The society, that means it goes more than producing, it goes more than the product, the selling, and the market, and it brings in the social aspects. The social aspect. You have seen those people who are advertising for the matter of advertising, for the matter of selling, but when it is not helping the people become any better. Have you seen them? I'm like, sister, leave us. I leave you. Because you are tired. Those are the concepts. You need to think of the implication it may have to the consumer. I hope you are all looking at your products and your services. You have to think about the problem that it is solving, and then that will help you to position it clearly, looking at the solving of the problem. The limitation, they're telling us when you look at the product concept, there are some limitations whereby you may forget that the customers may not have any clue about what you're producing. And when that happens and just come up with the new innovation because you want to set that premium price, then you realize that you may misfire because you may be scientifically right, but when the consumers or the customers don't really see any benefit because they are ignorant. They are ignorant. So that tells you, do your research well and prepare the consumer before the breaking or the launching or the grand opening. And you have seen that where people come and do sampling and they say, yeah, we are coming up with this and this. And when it comes, this is how we did. It's not that they are just wasting time. They're trying to sensitize the people and prepare them and ask questions that people may want, the producer may want to know as a matter of preparing well their brand. Okay. So this is very key. If you know it is not something which is very easy or which may not sell easily, make sure that you do those kind of pre and you post it out there so that you get some feedback, you create awareness, and you are able to advance it when you know the market is waiting. Sometimes they say, opening soon. We are here to do this. It will be coming in the next whatever. And people's ears and eyes and tests are there trying to say, I want to test it. I want to be there. Let me go and find out. This is what happens. So if you are trying, my friend Letitia, this could be an approach for you, for your concept to see in order that you are not surprised. Try to give it a camp. And you say, let me just drive a camp for mobile technical education and see how the community buys into it and be able to support the idea and maybe transform or drive it to what is needed out there, okay? When it comes to the selling concept in relation to marketing, it is important. People will not buy the farm's product unless they are persuaded to do so. So what they are telling you here, even if you have a product, they have given us an example of the insurance, they have given us those vacuum cleaners, they have given us firefighting equipment and others that you know, fire extinguishers. Those are necessities, we need them. But people may not see them as basic needs, much as they may be there. So in that way, that's where they are trying to say, where much as they don't, you have to persuade them to make sure that your business sounds and achieves its goal. Yes, Albert.
I have not understood this selling concept. Please repeat for me.
The one which is on?
Yes.
The selling concept it proposes when you are trying to sell, basically you have come up with products and you really want to sell because we are all tending to sell. We promote, we market, we sell. But for the selling concept, because the aim is to sell, okay? And they're telling you that sometimes the customers may not want to buy, regardless of the features that you're trying to promote. You may promote it, but it may not be in their makeup that I need a what? I need a vacuum cleaner. I need a fire extinguisher. I need what? I need Vim. I need what? So what they're telling you if you have come up with the product or the service and you realize that it has a problem it is solving, people have the need. Not everybody may see it as a need, but it's important for you, regardless of what it is, to make sure that you promote it in a way or you force it out to make sure that people get to buy it. But as a matter of key, as a sales or as a producer, you have to sell your products. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Some things are automatically, you don't have to tell much. Others, the moment you bring it out, people buy. But there are some which you really have to push. Now they're like, insurance, who doesn't need life insurance? We are all driving. Who doesn't need comprehensive? But even the third party, they have to reinforce to make sure that the police will stop you if you don't have it. But don't we know the purpose? We know. But as a matter of fact, I can drive a car without insurance and go. And if it happens, it happens, God forsake. But that's where they are telling you, you have to have in your mind, in perspective, you need to sell regardless of what it is. Don't just end on promoting. Make sure that you sell. If you don't, you lose. Because you have already invested resources. And when you are talking generally for the marketing, the focus should be satisfaction of the customer needs. So that when whatever you do, it is in line with what they want. You are bringing value to them. They will feel that we are going to be satisfied, we'll be solving our problems, we'll do whatever. Then it wraps up everything. We started from the production to the product, to the sale, to the, what was the other one? The pricing, and then you'll be able to market. When it comes to the societal, that's when it has to go beyond. Don't just end on those P's. Make sure that the value goes beyond. Beyond. That's where you realize some people are talking about health. Some people talk about beauty. Some people talk about peace. So now anything which goes beyond the ordinary, that's where you are appealing to higher values, to the higher values, the higher needs of the person. And when you start to appeal to the higher needs, automatically I'll buy it because I know it makes me feel good. It protects me from this. It will relax me. It will calm me down. It will make me feel cool. So you have gone beyond the money. You have gone beyond tastes and preferences, and you have come to the higher needs. And when you come to that, then you know you have already wrapped it up when it comes to marketing. And that's when I talked about the one who is doing the project of the pork joint, whether the pigs or whatever, go beyond eating and go to the organic because they know it is healthy, it does not have chemicals, it does not have but you just have the taste and even it will not have any harm. For those who want to live longer and stay light, okay? So this brings us to the discussion for today. We may expand it next time when it comes to the pricing, which we have not gone further because the others are a little bit clear, but there are other areas that we really need to make sure that we do it right when it comes to the segmentation, when it comes to the pricing. But these are the concepts in line to when you are starting and designing your marketing price, okay? Marketing plan, sorry. To make sure that you keep it in those what? In those perspectives. Otherwise, do you have any comments, any questions? What do you want me to do?
Lunchtime.
I like you for that. Thank you, sir.
We want
All
to join
right.
you for lunch.
I don't know
And
whether
we
I have
also
lunch.
have these notes.
Sister, you have lunch.
Ah, oh my dear. All right, thank you very much. Let's go for lunch. I thank you for this morning. Then I will see you at 2, okay? You can come and join me. Get an helicopter, please. Get an helicopter. I will have lunch for you, okay? So long as you can use the GPS to find me where I am. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Your smartphone, we can. If you
Thank
have your
you.
smartphone, we shall get you.
I'm going to switch it off. All right, have a good lunch. Thanks. Bye. Please prepare to for your discussions. Whoever is ready, number 1 to 18, so that we can do it in the minimal time and be able to leave. Okay. Thank you.